Software stocks may be staging a comeback. The IGV ETF now up 11% in the past week as investors see some opportunity in the adoption of AI agents in the workplace. Cloud storage company Box just announced a new agent at its annual BoxWorks conference. The shares are fractionally higher. Deirdre Bosa is live at the conference with Box CEO Aaron Levie. Welcome to both of you. Deirdre?
Kelly, thank you very much. Aaron, thanks for being with us fresh off the stage.
Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
As Kelly was talking about, we've really seen this massive outperformance of software stocks over the last few months, and especially since Trump's victory. Why do you think that is, and is it sustainable?
Well, probably two separate time periods there. First, I think we've just been in this wave of, companies are investing more and more in AI to drive automation across their enterprise. I think you're starting to see some signs of that play out, within the software landscape. Maybe a year or two ago, we've seen software spending, drop, pretty precipitously. That's leveled off, and I think you're seeing some signs of some positive direction. And then, post-Trump victory, I think there's some sense of, okay, we could have less regulation. That would be a boom in various, manufacturing sectors, energy, technology spending kind of, tends to correspond to those booms. And so I think we're seeing that sort of, regulation overhang and some of the investment cycle overhang begin to subside.
We've seen some false starts over the last few years. Do you think that this time it's more sustainable then, given those two forces?
I think we're too early to talk about sustainability. But, in general, so we're here at our customer conference, and the tone of customers is super, oriented toward innovation. How do we grow our businesses? How do we leverage technology to automate, core parts of our business, drive efficiency, drive growth? And those are what you want to hear from customers to drive these cycles.
Key buzzword right now in enterprise software is agents.
Yep.
You, Microsoft, Salesforce, and others say this is really the next phase of generative AI.
Yep.
Do you think that is going to lead to more enterprise software spending?
So the power of agents is you can go beyond just sort of going back and forth talking to an AI sort of assistant.
Like the initial stage of Copilot.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we saw for the past couple of years. Agents is really moving us into a period where you can kind of tell an agent to go complete a task for you. Mm-hmm. That's how you get real augmented kind of workflows in the enterprise. So today we announced Box AI Studio that lets you create these agents. And we announced a new product called Box Apps that lets you build no-code applications where AI agents and other workflows can help you automate core parts of your business processes. So think contract management or invoice processing or digital asset management, or maybe you're in life sciences, you want to automate workflows around clinical drug trials. That's where we are bringing AI and workflow together for the future of content.
Right, so more productivity gains, hopefully, in this stage. Let's get to the election. I know you were a vocal supporter of the Harris campaign. You were also very quick to congratulate Trump on his victory last week. What did you learn or observe from his first administration that you will lean about, or that will shape how you think about interacting with the second administration? Yeah,
so, I think if you compare the two administrations, already thus far, Trump is surrounded by a set of, individuals and leaders that I think point toward more disciplined policy into some topics, as well as a number of kind of pro-growth, pro-business, pro-innovation, sort of let's get rid of some of this red tape that has been slowing down innovation in the past. People like Elon, I think, are going to be, positive influences on driving that forward. So I think it's a very different, potentially very different administration coming in, and one that obviously we want to be extremely constructive with.
Is the tone from the tech world, from Silicon Valley, different going into this second term than it was the first time around? And how much does Elon have to do with that?
I think Elon is a major factor. The tone is a bit different. I think, we've seen, it's interesting. So even in this campaign cycle, I would talk to, Democrat-leaning friends and said, okay, what are the challenges that the Democrats have? Mm-hmm. And a lot of it came down to things like we have too much regulation. Democrat friends working in climate tech, things that you'd expect, Democrats to be super in favor of, were basically not able to do, what they were signed up to do. Because of regulation. And so I think there's a tone which is, well, what if we could actually have a pro-growth, sort of supercycle that was about how do you get more manufacturing, how do you get more energy, how do we get more autonomous, technologies, whether that's, cars or AI products. And I think there's a sense of, we could be entering one of those cycles. Obviously, I was still pushing for that cycle, no matter who won. But certainly with Elon, next to Trump, I think there's a positive signal of what that could look like.
It sounds like your tone has shifted a little bit, too. You were such a supporter of Harris's policies towards tech.
Yep.
But now you're thinking that Trump's will be very good for the industry?
During a campaign cycle, obviously, if you pick a side, then you want to, try and find what we can do to make sure that side is as productive as possible. Election's over. Trump won. So I think there's a lot of positive things that we can do as a country to move forward. And again, I think if you look at the potential people surrounding Trump this time around, you can see the positive influence that could drive, manufacturing growth, energy production growth, tech innovation growth. And so I want to be optimistic that
right.
plays out.
Kelly's got a question for you back in
That's a great line of questioning there. Aaron, I just wanted to ask you if you think that the killer app of AI at this point is really in code, in generating software, where we've seen just incredible productivity and maybe bringing more people, more creators into that world who wouldn't have had the technical expertise previously. I mean, I'm shocked at how much these are already kind of enhancing workflows in a lot of companies. Maybe you can speak to that.
Yeah, so Code was the original killer app for AI. So GitHub Copilot, invented a few years ago, was kind of the first breakthrough where you saw these generative AI models really drive instant productivity gains. So you're writing out software code, and it's sort of predicting what the better next line would be of that code. That was like the big aha for so many in software. And then ChatGPT was kind of the big aha, I think, for consumers and more of society at large. And what you're going to continue to see is this idea with AI, which is, could we lower the barrier to executing, critical tasks or work, whether that's generating images for a creative task, whether that's generating code for building software, whether that's reading through a legal contract to provide, a summary or a review, or labeling digital assets so you can, enable a digital, kind of asset management workflow. That's kind of the real power of AI. And so it's meant as a supercharger for all of our collective productivity, starting with code, but I think you're going to see it across so many other spaces.
Like, what did Sam Altman say? He said that the next business is going to be billion-dollar business could be built by just one person.
And it's not inconceivable.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. It's absolutely not inconceivable at this point.
Aaron, thank you so much for sharing all these insights with us and having us at Boxworks.
Thanks for being here. Good
Kelly,
to see you.
Back over to you.
I'm just going to get to work building that billion-dollar business on a line of code. That sounds pretty good. Thank you both, Aaron Levie, our Deirdre Bosa.
I'll join you.
Yeah, and we can do $2 billion.